Hello, 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 Sanibonani, beautiful people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in this beautiful world of ours. I hope you are doing very, very well. And thank you so much for clicking to join us on the evening breakfast show, the only evening breakfast show that recognizes that it may be evening here, it may be breakfast where you are, and it may be tomorrow in Australia. Because I don't know why Australia is always ahead of the rest of the world. Even when we are suffering, Australia has already suffered. So I hope you are doing well and happy Friday. And because you have joined us, we wish you a happy, happy Friday. And welcome to Funny Friday. This is where we take all the problems that we have been avoiding from Monday to Thursday, put them aside, and we will deal with them next week. There's another Monday coming. For now, what we're going to do, we're going to put them on the table. We're going to laugh at them. We're going to postpone solving them until next week, because we are not going to let our problems be our identity. And today, I want to talk about a very interesting topic that I think affects all of us, especially if you live in the diaspora. You are going to understand everything I'm talking about. And if you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Thenjiwe. I am a South African stand-up comedian. I live in the UK, and I've been living in the UK for quite a while now, which is why today I want to talk about the Diaspora Survival Guide. Things that nobody warned us about. Things that nobody warned us about when we left our beautiful countries, seeking for greener pastures in other countries, when we came to the so-called first world countries, when we came to live abroad. Because people will tell you about the reliable electricity. They tell you about, oh, when you open tap, water comes out. But nobody will tell you that water will come out. But the bill you will pay, you will feel like you are paying bride price for your king's first daughter. Nobody warns you that living abroad is not just relocation. It's a full-time administrative process. It's a position for being an administrator. There is so much more that is involved that nobody warns us about. Let me know in the comment section. Maybe you were lucky, maybe someone did warn you. And I've noticed that also, depending on where you come from in the world, especially as Africans, we don't suffer the same way. We have a lot of common things that we go through, but some people who come from places where they've had family members living abroad for decades, like I've met people, African people my age, whose parents studied here, whose parents lived here, whose parents lived in America, my aunts. So those people tend to have a better understanding because they had people who warned them. They had people, sometimes they were warned, but they did not listen. Just like I am warning you now, and some of you are still not listening. In Zulu, we say, indlela ibuzwa kwabaphambili. So guys, please translate. I'm very bad with translation. So we're going to talk about the things you go through here. You become your own immigration lawyer. You become your own travel agent. You become your own accountant, therapist, weather reporter, international money transfer department. And if you are watching live, please do let me know where you are watching from. Drop a flag, drop funny facts about where you are watching from. And if you have ever lived in a country away from your home country, you will know. And guys, I know, please don't feel pressured to comment. I know some of you watch television and watch these YouTube videos the way African fathers attend family meetings. You watch silently, nje, with your arms folded, judging everybody. And I know some of you are watching from work. You are working as you are watching, and I appreciate you. I really, really do appreciate you. I appreciate the support, the time, and if you have not yet subscribed, I would really appreciate you even more for pressing the subscribe button. Please do press subscribe. My fellow Africans, subscription is free. Mahala. You don't have to pay a thing. There's no catch. I know we've been played a lot. We find ourselves with a lot of subscriptions that we do not remember committing to paying for. But I promise you, YouTube subscription is free. So we're talking about how nobody warns you that moving abroad is not just a relocation. It's not just a relocation. And before you move abroad, everybody makes it sound glamorous. Oh, you're going overseas. Oh, overseas. You're going to earn pounds, euros, dollars. Oh, overseas. And that word alone just sounds expensive. The currency alone just sounds expensive. Nobody says you're going to live in a small room with 4 strangers from countries you've never heard of, even in the World Cup. You're going to try your underwear on a radiator. They say you're going to London. They don't say you're going to Zone 6, where even London has stopped claiming responsibility. Some people say they live in London when they live in Birmingham. Some people say they live in London when they live in Liverpool. But they came here thinking they were going to London. Nobody told them about the geography of the country. We just knew overseas. Going to England, I'm going to London. And to those of you who are living abroad, please let me know. Did you even know about the place where you currently live? Did they even tell you how far away from London it is? When I first came to the UK, I lived in Levenham near Ipswich. It was so far. I felt so out of place. At that time, I never saw anyone who looked like me until I left that place. In Africa, when you announce that you are going to live abroad, everybody celebrates. People who have never supported any of your previous dreams suddenly become extremely interested. People you've known for your whole life suddenly want to have your phone number. And they just call you just to ask, what time is it there? How's the weather there? But you know, it's always going to end with them asking for one thing and one thing only. People get excited for you. Oh, you are leaving. We always knew you were going places. We were always destined for better. No, you didn't know. When I said I wanted to be a comedian, you said I needed prayer. You said I needed to get a real job. Now you knew that I was destined for better things. And then what is that followed by? One person needs a phone, one person needs to pay for their school fees, another one needs shoes. An auntie you saw like the last time you saw them was when Mandela came out of jail, when he walked out of Robben Island. That's the last time you saw them. Suddenly they're your closest family member. They're telling you about their problems and how they need to do a tombstone unveiling for their husband, who is apparently your uncle, who really loved you very much, who carried you when you were 3 months old. Not congratulations, guys. Just get like that. If I could do a series on showing you some of the text messages I get, some of the WhatsApp messages, the inboxes I get, just from a random number I don't even know. Sandy is a size 6, Sipo is a size 9, and the little one wants an iPad. I'm like, who is this? So now I must call you and find out who you are. And the next thing, they passing rumors. Oh, she doesn't even respond to us. Meanwhile, the kids, they are talking about one of them has a beard and a mortgage. You have not even paid your first rent, and your salary has already been allocated. Some people still think that the moment you land at Heathrow, the British government just comes to you, gives you a big bag and tells you, these are the trees that we use to grow money. So go there and pick however much you want. Nobody warned me. And for some of us were making more money in Africa. But the minute people hear you live abroad, they don't care if you are a student, they don't care if you came here through marriage, they don't care. The minute they hear you live abroad, they think you have automatically become a walking ATM. They think when you arrive, Prince Charles himself comes to you and says, welcome to Britain. Here is your keys. Here is 10,000 pounds. Please send some to your family back home immediately. Meanwhile, you are arriving at the airport dragging 2 suitcases and a backpack, and you are going to the underground, like escalators, stairs and stairs and stairs, because there are so many stairs in London. Nobody knows. Meanwhile, you are looking at the price of Uber and you are thinking, 2 hours is not a long distance. I will walk it. Like, guys, I wish people should just understand that it takes time to even find yourself, to even settle, to even start making money. Even if you are moving as a professional, doesn't automatically make you rich immediately. Some people came here after borrowing money from other people to pay for their tickets, to sort out their immigration paperwork. But the minute you arrive, they don't care if you have 1 pair of trousers. They don't care. And you arrive here carrying so many things that you think you'll never see them until you go back home. I've seen people arrive with meal, knickknacks. I still buy those things and bring them back as well when I go home. But it's so surprising when you get here and you think, I walked 2 hours with these heavy suitcases only to learn after arriving that there is a shop across the street that sells exactly the same things. Yes, it's a premium price, but when you look you look at what you have to go through to bring those things here, is it even worth it? Because the same products are here. And I promise you, it looks expensive, but it is often cheaper than excess luggage. It is often cheaper than having to carry a big suitcase across a city you don't even know yet. I just wish people warned us. So if you're planning to come overseas, come with a very light luggage. Don't bring all your clothes. Don't bring the things you absolutely need. And thanks to technology, you may not even need to bring any paperwork because you'll just email it across. Don't stress yourself until you settle. Then if you decide to bring your stuff from home too. I know people who've arrived here and within 2 weeks they are stressed because they're waiting because they shipped all their furniture from their house back home because they thought when they come abroad they're going to live in the same 6-bedroom house they lived in when they were in Africa. And they come here and they realize, no. When we said a 4-bedroom house, we meant the other bedrooms already have other families occupying them. And as soon as they have, it's so sad. I witnessed a family, it was a couple and their 2 children. They came, they had their visas, everything sorted. They came here to work professionally. They're professionals. They came to London from South Africa and they shipped all their furniture from their beautiful house in Africa, in South Africa. And then they came here and realized how much rent was. Because this is what these companies will do. They will put you up in a hotel or Airbnb for maybe the first 2 weeks, the first month, and call it, just settle in and then find your own place. And then when they saw how much rent was going to cost them for the same size house that they left back home in Cape Town, they wanted to cry. They had to give away the furniture because they were trying to sell it, but nobody was interested in buying any second-hand furniture. Everyone was like, if we want second-hand, we go to British Arts Foundation, we go to these charity shops, we go to Facebook Marketplace, just list them. They ended up taking everything to charity shop, and some of it, like their couches, they had to get rid of because even furniture shops would not take them because they didn't have the fire safety label. They were beautiful, they were new. Even me, I wanted them, they were nice, but I couldn't take them. I've already got my own furniture that I paid a lot of money for that I like, and I wasn't going to get rid of my furniture in order to take their furniture. Charity shops did not take their furniture because it did not have the fire safety labels. They had to if they had just left the contents of their house with family or friends or sold them while they were still in South Africa, they would have been better off. Now they've paid £7,000 for shipping the furniture. It gets here, they don't have space for it, and nobody wants to buy it, and nobody wants it for free. What a waste of money. What an emotional damage. It was so sad to see, but those are some of the things that happen here because nobody warns us about these things. Nobody tells us about these things. And sometimes because we do not ask. Sometimes we do not ask. Sometimes we know people who are already on the other side, but we do not ask them. Sometimes people want to surprise people who've already walked the journey, and they end up wasting so much money. It was just so sad to see. And I've seen also people look for places, and a lot of people just love the word London, and they would arrange and pay a deposit and commit to a 2-year contract. And when they arrive, the London they see on TV is not the London they paid to live in. They're living in the outskirts, they're living in the west area, they're living in the ghetto, and they want to cry. But they've already made the commitment because nobody wants us and we don't want to ask. Always come and do a test. Don't make full-time commitments before you arrive in a place. I know it's always easy sometimes to say, but it's difficult for other people to say, okay, I'll go for 2 months, I'll go for 2 weeks before I fully commit to moving. but don't make those commitments. Another thing people don't warn us about is about your first job, because nobody warns you about your first job. Because at home you may have qualifications, you may have managed people, you may have even managed a whole department, you may have had an office, a title, a business card, and like you may have everything, and you arrive abroad and somebody looks at your CV and they will tell you, you don't have enough experience, you don't qualify. They will say things that will shock you, because the one thing they always ask is, do you have local experience? And how am I supposed to get local experience if nobody gives me local experience? You can see that I arrived here last week. I stood next to Big Ben for 3 hours. Does that count as local experience? And people don't warn you, because sometimes you'll find that your friends with the same qualifications are abroad doing the job that they qualify for, but they were brought to the country by a professional company, by the same company that is already, that gives them a job. They were recruited while abroad. If you can get yourself recruited whilst you are abroad, you stand a better chance of working in your profession that you qualify for. Otherwise, be prepared to do anything. Otherwise, be prepared to do anything as your first job. You'll be asking yourself, did Microsoft Excel change at the border? Does the British version have like different columns? Do emails travel on the left-hand side of the screen? Like, what's happening? But they will want local experience. Your first job may not be the best job. Your first job may make you cry every day. But believe you me, there's no shame in honest work. But there's always that pain of knowing that you did not spend 4 years at university to be told, those pots, you need to rewash them. Mrs. Smith in room 4 needs feeding. A lot of people end up going through depression. The family back home thinks you are working very well, you are earning a lot of money, you are overseas, you're doing a job you love, you had a good job at home, so you must be doing even better overseas. And you can't even be choosy. And you can't be asking people, do you know who I was back home? Because your rent does not care who you were. The landlord wants to know who you are on the first of the month, not who you were back home. And this has caused a lot of South Africans, not just South Africans, of Africans abroad, to develop secret careers abroad. So many people end up having secret careers abroad because the family back home thinks, oh, you work in healthcare. But that can mean anything. Are you a doctor, a nurse, hospital administrator? No. You could be washing the dishes in the hospital. And when your relatives back home ask you, like, oh, I'm based in the major hospitals within the UK. Are you? So make sure you are prepared not to do the job you qualify for. Make sure if you are not prepared to do that, make sure you get the job before you leave home. because it's going to be difficult to get your professional job without local experience. It's different for different careers. It's different for people like nurses, but I know nurses who are better qualified than what they are doing abroad. They're still within the healthcare industry, but they know they have, I don't know what they call it in nursing, is it higher ranking? They're more qualified than what they end up doing. Another thing that nobody warns you about is the weather. The weather. The first time I went to America was so stupid, guys. I wore a nice big coat. You know those coats you get from South Africa, we call that tunis. But for me, it was a friend. We exchanged. I gave her a pair of Levi jeans. She gave me that. It was suede and fur. It was so beautiful. It was so warm because she had a mother who worked overseas and she used to send them clothes. And she was like, I've got this nice jacket. I will never use this in Durban. Durban is never going to be this cold. You're going abroad. And when I left, it was July in South Africa. It was cold. It was winter. Did I not wear the jackets? Did I not arrive in America to scorching sun? The heat was a lot. And me, I was dressed for winter. And it happens to a lot of people where we just never think that we have different seasons. And to be fair, nobody properly prepares Africans for European weather. People say it gets cold. And believe you me, that's not enough information. A fridge gets cold. A fridge gets cold. London, I saw and felt the kind of cold I had never felt before. The weather can be so aggressive. The weather has unresolved childhood trauma. African cold and British cold are not the same. And some Africans don't even come with places that have any cold at all. At least South Africans, we do get some sort of winter, but they are not even distant cousin when you compare them to the cold that you will feel abroad. In Africa, when it's cold, the sun still comes out to apologize. It says, I'm sorry about this morning. Let me just warm you up a bit, and then it disappears. British weather does not apologize. You wake up, it is dark. You go to work, it is dark. You come home, it is dark. At some point, you start wondering whether you are living in Britain or inside somebody's wardrobe. And the weather changes every 12 minutes. It's only when I lived here that I learned the importance of layering. Because the weather app says light showers, light. The rain will be coming sideways. The umbrella will resign. The wig will cross the road before you. And British people will still say, it's a bit chilly, it's a little chilly. Little chilly. And it's worse when they start saying things like, lovely weather, innit? Lovely for who? Do I look like a fish? When most Africans first arrive, we wear the wrong clothes because we're so used to our own weather and we refuse to accept the evidence. You see, the temperature says 8. It says 8 degrees, but the sun is out. You think, oh, it looks warm outside. My friend, that sun is just decorative. It's just there for lightning. It's not there to warm you up at all. Not at all, at all, at all. It has no heat. The sun here has no heat at all. It's just a ring light from the sky. And then winter arrives, and then you discover something called heating. At first, I used to just turn it on freely because you believe you live in a developed country. If you are cold, you need to keep warm. And then your energy bill arrives and nobody has warned you. Your whole salary will end up paying for the heating bill. From that day, heating will become a family decision. Nobody touches the thermostat without consulting the person who pays the bills. The breadwinner must be consulted because they will ask, who turned the heating up? It was only for 10 minutes. Are you trying to destroy this family? Africans abroad would rather buy another blanket than turn the heating on. Because once you've received that first heating bill, you will be sitting in your own lounge wearing a scarf, a coat, socks, and gloves, avoiding to turn the heating on. Because otherwise, you're just going to work to pay for the heating bill. Because when the energy bill arrives, you'll want to pack and go home. And if you don't pay, they will switch it off. So come prepared for the weather. Most of the clothes that you packed, that you drag in your suitcases, will end up in charity shops anyway. So come with basic things. You need to, yeah. Another thing that I find a lot of people struggle with is finding a church. I've had so many people who came here thinking, oh, these people colonized us. They brought church to Africa. Of course, it's going to be nice to go to church. There will be churches everywhere. In my local church, it is full when there are 4 people. If you are someone who likes worshiping, who likes church, you'll probably end up worshiping on the internet or paying a lot of money to go to a church far away from where you live, where you'll find other people. Church is not the same here as it is back home. And another thing that nobody warns us about is the pressure to send money home. Because this automatically becomes the diaspora's second monthly bill. It's like our salaries have to cover 2 families. I don't know why. And it always grows according to emergencies. And there's always an emergency. School fees, funeral contributions, hospital bills, electricity, a roof is leaking, food, this, church uniform, a child you have never even met needs money for a school trip. The family dog has emotional problems. No, not African. African family dogs don't have emotional problems. Well, they do, but African dogs. So you have to be careful because you are earning one salary and most of them cannot afford to feed and support 2 families. Some people commit to financially be responsible for people abroad before they even settle here. I know people who came and, oh my word, I'm now earning pounds. This is how much it is in my local currency. I'm rich. And then they take a mortgage for their parents. I'm moving my parents from the township, take a mortgage. Now you are stuck living in a single room for 20 years because you've committed yourself. So be careful and avoid committing yourself to things that will limit your movement, limit your choices. Now you can't even say, I'm taking a career break. You can't even say, I'm taking 6 months off to go and study something so that I can come back and get a better job. You have to keep on working. By the time you finish the mortgage, you are in your 50s. You are too old to take your own mortgage. Because you live abroad, people assume you have unlimited money. They think pounds grow naturally in British gardens. So you need to be careful and avoid committing yourself financially too soon before you know for sure what you can really afford. Because it's not like you go outside and shake a tree and then you start collecting 50-pound notes. People are asking you for money because they may not realize that you are struggling. You send money home on Friday and by Tuesday you are eating noodles. You're looking at a photograph of the money transfer receipt like it's a family portrait. So many people have not even been out to eat, sometimes with their children. They live here with their children, but they're sponsoring outings back home. People will even be brave enough to tell you, but you earn in pounds. You must tell them, yes, but I also suffer in pounds. I also pay my bills in pounds. My stress is international. My overdraft has a strong currency. Sometimes we'll help our relatives live better than us just because we don't want to tell the truth. Their children attend private schools. Your own child attends whichever school has space, but you are paying for somebody else's child to go to private school. You are contributing towards somebody's beautiful house back home while living in a tiny, tiny, tiny flat where the washing machine is in the kitchen. I don't know what it is with London and washing machines in the kitchens. The kitchen is in the lounge. The lounge is emotionally part of your bedroom. But you are building a mansion back home with 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and a balcony. Now you can't even take a day off because those things need to be paid for. Meanwhile, abroad, you share 1 bathroom with 4 people from countries you've never heard of. So you have to be careful. Don't commit yourself to be financially responsible for things back home too soon. And you keep telling yourself, oh, one day I'll go home to enjoy my mansion. By the time you retire, your knees will say, stay on the ground floor. Enjoy the ground floor. You spend 30 years building an upstairs you can't even go and reach. You can't even reach. Your knees are saying, no, we're not going upstairs. And the relatives who have been living in your mansion are now so comfortable that when you finally come home, the first thing they ask is, how long are you staying? Excuse me, how long am I staying? Are you immigration in my own house? This is my house. Haibo. Hi. So you have to be careful. I always say this same thing, that always put on your own mask before you help others. So when you move abroad, make sure you look out for yourself, you settle, you know what you are doing before you can commit to helping people, especially long-term commitments. especially long-term commitments. So many people don't warn you about how difficult it can be to just live away from home. Even people who live in another city within their own home country. Your sister who lives up the road from your mom's house, they understand that she has bills. She can no longer help at home as much as she used to because now she has her own house. Why can't they understand that you living abroad also have bills, also have your own family now, also have your own financial commitments? Why every time they call you, the conversation must always start with, my child, we are fine, except, and then the except will last for 45 minutes. And if you tell them that you are struggling, they won't even believe you, because for so long, you've made them believe that when now you have money. And sometimes they don't realize that with the 1,000 you send them is the last 1,000. Sometimes it's from an overdraft. They think, if she's sending us 1,000, she must have 20,000. Someone even tell you, but you are overseas. If you don't have money to help me, then what are you doing overseas? Guys, overseas is not a mental health treatment. Depression can travel. Anxiety has its passports. Loneliness does not need a visa. You can be in a developed country with underdeveloped peace of mind because you are physically here, but mentally you are still there. You feel like you owe them your life because they prayed for you to get a passport, they prayed for your visa, they accompanied you to the airport, they threw a farewell party, they posted all your airport farewell photographs on their Instagrams. Hashtag new beginnings, hashtag God did it. God must do it for you too. We have developed a new thing because I love and believe God so much that if God is teaching you a lesson by making you struggle, I'm not the person who's gonna argue with God and start giving you money. God knows why he made you broke. He's teaching you a lesson. Some of you are too proud. You end up sending money while you are crying in a small one-bedroom. Put one-bedroom flat is big in the European standards. And some of you, it's okay, but you are hardly ever home anyway. So why pay a lot of money? Labo, the family thinks you spend every weekend going to the London Eye, near Tower Bridge, and having a good life. No, nobody warns you about these things, but you need to be careful. Don't bring too much stuff when you come. Don't expect different countries to be exactly the same as your country, especially in first world countries. And some of the things you pay a lot of money to bring, you will realize you either no longer need, or you will realize that a cheaper way you could have saved yourself a lot of money, or they cannot fit, even the sizes of houses. And I would also like to encourage people, before you take your children out of school, thinking by taking them abroad, they're gonna go to better schools. It is not necessarily true. Sometimes your children are in better schools in Africa, are in nicer schools. Some are even in private schools. And then you take them out. And Jay, you just bring depression. A lot of parents have fallen out with their children because you bring your children to a country you yourself do not know. And they come here, a lot of African children, they struggle. And what do African parents do? Oh, he's not well behaved. I'm shipping him back to Nigeria. I'm shipping him back to Ghana. And also find out about childcare before you bring your children. A lot of parents end up having their children being taken by social services because they come here and realize that a child minder earns more than what you earn. So you cannot afford to pay for a child minder. It's not like back home where, yes, you literally, guys, you abuse people. You'll be paying someone $100, £100 for the whole month to be your living maid. They don't even have their own private space. They're living on in your property, but they're sleeping on the couch and all these things that happen. Or you may even have a big enough house where they have their own space. But yeah, it is so expensive to check. For me, I paid more for nursery school fees than university. It is so expensive. So think about those things. Find out about childminders. Can you afford it? If you are a couple, are you going to be able to either have one parent work and the other one not working so they can do the school drop-offs, the school pickups, like everything to do with school runs or babysitting? Or are you going to be those parents who do Lala Voga? When one comes back home, the other one has to leave. One does days, one does nights. Find out about those things before you pack your children and say you're bringing them abroad. A lot of couples end up going to like falling apart because they did not do their research and nobody warned them about how difficult it can be to raise children in other countries. It is worse when the father is a dependent and the mother is the main visa, what you call the visa person. And back home, a man who was proud and used to have a good job and wants to be a provider, it can become so difficult for them without a warning to suddenly have to become a house husband, to suddenly have to be the one who's doing all the housework and looking after children. It has caused so many problems within African diaspora families. It can become so difficult. So you need to do your research before you commit, especially if you're coming as a family. Sometimes I feel like if you're coming by yourself, it's so easy to even think Birmingham is not working for me. Let me go and try in Manchester. Manchester is not working for me. Let me go and try in London. But when you are a family, it becomes more difficult because you have schools, you have children, you have so much. And a lot of people I know are not still in the same job that they did when they first came. Most people who stay within the same job are people who were brought here by those jobs that are visa dependent on those jobs. But a lot of people, they change. A lot of people change. They change jobs. And another thing people don't warn you about is loneliness. That's one of the things I really struggled with. Loneliness, because I'm a people's person, I'm a friendly person, I like to host, I like to be with people. And then you'll find that if you don't even know your neighbors, if you greet them, just a simple hello, they look at you like you're going to tell them some breaking news. In my culture, I do not find it okay to just be passing my neighbors and not even saying hello. Even if I don't like you, let us at least be pleasant enough to greet each other. And loneliness is something very serious because nobody warns you about how lonely moving abroad can be. Because at home you had family, you had neighbors, you had friends, you had colleagues, and colleagues at home are different from colleagues abroad. At home, sometimes you complain about having too many people. You complained. Why can't people phone before coming? We complain. Then you move abroad and wish people could just come without phoning because everybody is busy. Everybody is busy. And with me, because of comedy, I work at night. It becomes so lonely sometimes during the day. And you can't say, I'm going to do this and that, because it becomes expensive. Sometimes I go on my solo dates, which I love. I enjoy. I'll go for lunch, breakfast, and blah, blah, blah. And I use those times to also just write, because I write. But for most people, and me, I'm lucky because I work in the places I work in are quite social. They're sociable. I see people, I speak to people. Not in the way you speak to people at home, not in the way where you are close with people. And I've got a very good and healthy group of friends. So I'm not really struggling per se, but it's still not like home. But I know so many people who are just so lonely. Loneliness is real. On their day off, people will stay there by themselves. That's why when you call people, they'll be on the phone with you for 4 hours. People with a life do not have 4 hours to spend with you on the phone. Sometimes the only person who says your name all week is the person at the self-service checkouts. The person you can't even see, you just hear the voice. You know, the unexpected item in the baggage area. That's the only conversation you will have all week. You'll even smile that at least someone noticed me. So you need to be prepared for such things, which is why some people live abroad, but mentally they are back home because the only people they speak to are people back home. They vicariously live through other people. That's why they're excited when there's a party at home. Oh, if you are going to that wedding, please stream it for me. Put it on WhatsApp video. Let me watch. Now the person who's at the wedding can't even enjoy the wedding. And we need to talk about this thing because a lot of people are struggling with loneliness. It can make you feel like you made the wrong decision by coming abroad. But for some of us, for me, I'm very happy. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Yes, some days I sit and question myself. I miss home. I want to go home. But generally, I'm very happy. I'm not regretting coming abroad a bit. And both things can be true. You can build a better life and still grieve the life you left behind. Both things can be true at the same time. And if you are struggling, please don't suffer silently. Just because people think you are successful abroad, you need to speak to someone. You need to find a community. Don't suffer alone. Some people end up being so lonely because they're working and saving, working and saving. Oh, if we go out, I'm going to spend money. I don't want to spend money. I'm saving to go home. Sometimes that thing you are saving for won't even be there by the time you've saved enough money. Children grow up. People die. People move. Couples divorce. By the time you go home, you won't be going back to the same home that you left. So you need to live where you are as well. You need to live where you are. And there will always be another person who needs help, another building project, another child who needs school, another emergency, another financial goal. So you need to allow yourself to live where you are, because years are passing. Some people spend 20 to 30 years living abroad and just planning for going home. Imagine how old you're going to be by the time you go back. Some people don't travel because every spare pound must be sent home. They don't enjoy anything because enjoyment feels irresponsible. Eating out feels irresponsible. But the people you are sending money to are eating out. They are enjoying. They are attending weddings. They are. Then one day you'll realize that your entire adult life happened in a waiting room. Happens to so many people abroad where they realize too little, too late that their entire adult life was in a waiting room. So my fellow Africans in the diaspora, please, please, please listen to me. You are allowed to build a good life where you are. You are absolutely allowed to build a good life where you are. Your life also matters. It does not mean you have forgotten your family. It does not mean you think you are better than everyone else. It means your life also matters. Your children deserve good experiences where they live. You deserve a comfortable home, even if it is rented, but you deserve a comfortable home as well. You deserve a holiday that is not a family emergency. You deserve to buy something for yourself without preparing a presentation for the family. You deserve something brand new. You deserve an original designer, not a fake. You deserve something you've always wanted. You deserve to experience something you always wanted to experience. And most of all, you deserve to rest. You deserve to take a break. You deserve to sleep all day. You deserve to have heating in winter. You deserve, but heating maybe not every day, because those heating bills. That's why I work more in winter, to get heating from work. But you deserve to occasionally turn on your heating. I'm not saying stop helping people. I'm saying help sustainably, and don't forget to help yourself. Don't forget to use your mask first before you use it. You help others. There is no wisdom in paying someone else's school fees while your own child goes without what they need. There is no prize for building a mansion back home while your family lives miserably abroad. There is no medal for being everybody's hero while you are privately falling apart. Use your own oxygen mask first. You will help others, but use your own first. You cannot keep pouring from an empty cup. And in this economy, the cup is not only empty, it's on Klana. You even owe the cup, because you took it on credit. And some of the things I've learned are, number one, never ever convert your salary for relatives back home. When you say you earn £2,000, that is a lot of money. But if you take out your rent, you take out your council tax, your transport, your electricity, your food, then you realize you don't earn that much. But if you think of £2,000 in rands, you're thinking, oh my God, 50,000 rands. It sounds like it's a lot of money. But once you start realizing you're paying 20,000 for a room in a shared house, you do not need to have selective exchange rates. Don't just exchange what you are receiving, exchange what you are spending as well. Too many people are exchanging what they are receiving, what they are being paid, but they are not exchanging what they are spending. Exchange how much you are paying for a loaf of bread. And you deserve to eat the bread you like, not the bread that's on sale, not the bread that's on special. You deserve to have a brand that you like, a brand of your choice. You need to choose an amount you can afford from what is left, not from what you earn. From what is left once you've paid for all your needs, not from what you earn. And when it is finished, it is finished. You are not the African Reserve Bank. You cannot keep printing assistance. And people don't deserve to know your payday. Nobody needs to know about your bonus, overtime, or tax refund. Some blessings must just remain between you, God, and the HMRC. And I will repeat this. Build a life where you live. Make friends. Celebrate birthdays. Buy the furniture you like. Do the hairstyle you want. Explore the country you live in. Stop living out of a suitcase after 15 years. You are no longer just passing through. Your child has a British accent and does not know your village. Unpack. Start living. And another important thing is, do not compete with social media. Because social media is always just highlight reels. People post holidays, they post houses and graduation. They don't post the overtime bill that they don't post the overtime that they are working in order to afford what they are posting. Most importantly, they don't post what they owe, what is overdue. They don't post the night shift that they are doing in order to afford what they are doing. They don't post the arguments they are having with immigration. So do not compare your full life to somebody else's photograph. You all have people that you know. And when you see their life on social media, you just know that it's not the life they live in real life. I've seen people post things and then the very same day they're calling me, they need money. I've seen people attend award shows when they are sitting at home with an eviction letter. So you need to live a life that is true to yourself. You don't have to explain your life to the whole village or to your whole family. You need to have one person, at least one person with whom you can be honest. Somebody you can tell that I'm struggling, that I'm lonely, that I need help, that I don't want to work another night shift. Even the strongest person needs someone to put down the luggage. And also, it's important to understand that you should go home when you can, not using going home as a world performance ritual. You don't need to arrive home wearing designer clothes all the time. You don't need to go shopping for new outfits every time you're going home. Your family should be happy to see you, not your suitcases, not the gifts that you are bringing them. You should be able to give them what you can afford. And if someone complains, tell them the greatest gift is your presence. Tell them how much it cost you just to get home. They may not even agree, but say it confidently. And also, very, very importantly, make sure that you always keep your documents organized. That things we see with people who live in the diaspora and their documents are not organized. Diaspora living involves paperwork, passports, visas, so many things. You need your resident permits, your employment letters, proof of address, this and that. And you see so many people, there's an emergency and they've not organized their paperwork. I'm not sure. I left it somewhere. Immigration is never going to accept that. And most importantly, learn to survive, learn to be strong, learn to accept that you live where you are, and learn to laugh. Because sometimes laughter is how we survive. Go to comedy shows, guys. Go attend comedy shows. I don't see enough of you. I don't see enough of you. You need to laugh. You need to laugh at life. Laugh at the accent misunderstandings. Laugh at the weather. Laugh at the day your card got declined after you sent money home. Not because it wasn't painful, but because the alternative is crying like on public transport. You don't want that. Spend the £10, go to a comedy show, spend the £20. It will do you so good. Don't wait to go home. I know people who only come to my comedy shows when I'm home. When I'm here, they're just working. I'm like, it's even cheaper here. You can't even spare a day to go and enjoy yourself. You need to leave. Laughter is the best medicine, and laughter is cheaper than therapy. And also, always remember the things that made you leave home. Because we left for different things. Some people left for safety. Some left for education. Some left for opportunity, adventure. They left because they wanted to take their children to another country. Some left for their careers. You need to remember the reason you left. Don't ever forget your dreams. Don't be too caught up in the diaspora that you forget why you left your family, why you left your home country. Don't be too caught up in the rat race that you forget why you even left in the first place. Don't do that to yourself. Remember your dreams. And check out that video I did yesterday about what you couldn't do and didn't do in 20 years, you can do in 5 years. It's always time to change. And check out the video on boundaries, because that's how you start changing. You don't need to give yourself pressure to look successful because you think so many people are depending on me. I need to look successful. No. You need to remember that you did not cross oceans just to spend the rest of your life surviving. You are allowed to live. You are allowed to enjoy the fruit of your labor. You are allowed, guys. So let us live. Let us put on our mask before helping others. And especially those of us with children, your children are your main priority before your family and friends back home. Make sure that you do your research before you move abroad. Make sure that you accept the mistakes you've made and you change, and you need to leave. You deserve to leave. You were not born just to survive and support other people's lifestyles while you are suffering. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for watching Breakfast Show Yantambama, the evening breakfast show. I really appreciate you joining us. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and I love you. See you in the next video. Have a lovely, 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 lovely weekend. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. Subscription is free. Mahala.